But Jason, whenever you see this beautiful headline right here, that's sarcasm in case you can't pick it up through a YouTube video.
Right.
American veterans now receive absurdly generous benefits. I mean, what are your initial thoughts, right? And I know I just told you this. We were doing this video like an hour ago. You've already got mad. You've breathed a little bit, right?
Right.
So,
well, so here's the thing. I'm not going to lie. I did see this article before. I didn't know that we were going to cover it until you brought it up. So, it's one word away. It's one word away from being a positive article to being a completely, in my mind, already a BS, half-baked, half-understood article without even reading it. I haven't even read it. And, I hate these things because kind of like the one that came out from the dude from West Point, the lieutenant colonel over there, and a guy from Stanford, and they rattled off all these different reasons why VA benefits are just kind of, it's too much and it's this and that, and they're counterintuitive and they make veterans lazy or whatever it is. And then they started talking about the PACT Act and how that opened the door for even more and, makes it easy for claims. And all these half-baked bumper sticker ideas blow my mind because nobody takes the time to fully effing understand exactly how this process works, what the laws are, what a presumptive effing condition is, what you had to do in order to get that damn presumptive condition. And oh, by the way, this is medical experts that say because you were sniffing burnt shit for however many days, you are more likely than everybody else to come down with this. So I just want to take these people and smack them around. And it really irritates the heck out of me. I so much, because you have folks that were, in Vietnam in a very horrific situation, getting sprayed down by Agent Orange. Come on. And you're talking about the fact that, because the PACT Act made it easier for them to get their hypertension. Yeah. You know what? Kick rocks. You suck. And so does everybody else. Because at the end of the day, we wouldn't even have a damn nation if it weren't for veterans. And we all signed the same dotted line that says, you know what? I will go die for this country. And I don't care if you're a veteran out there that's against what I'm saying, then you need to kick rocks too. This is where I'll plant my flag. Back to you, Clay.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Jason doesn't do anything except for talking to camera. I download the video and do all the cuts and edits and the thumbnails and the descriptions. Basically, everything you see is all me. I am genuinely excited this time. Yeah, no, I had to throw that in there. I am genuinely excited this time to go back and rewatch what you just said. Jason and I, this is our 42nd episode, and we've done many live streams on top of that. So we're probably nearing 50, which is insane because we started this year. So congrats to you, I guess. But I've never been excited to go back and cut the videos that we do until right now. And, we've talked about, I remember we spoke about Judge Judy and how you had gotten heated up about that comment. And I was ooh, Jason got a little spicy there. But that was pretty spicy, Jason, right? Now, there's so much to unpack on this one. I'm going to give my initial thoughts, and then we'll kind of go through the article and look at some snippets on what's actually being said, because it's not good. If you're wondering if it's good, the answer is no, it's not. The article really focuses on post 9/11 generation specifically, which is weird to me because a lot of veterans that are newly service connected are your Vietnam era due to the PACT Act and your Shield Storm era due to the PACT Act. Because generally speaking, right, your younger relative generations had access to information, and that's where we see this huge increase in just veterans submitting claims today. The PACT Act obviously made that possible as well. But the article focuses on post 9/11, and the issue that I have, okay, and I'm a post 9/11, I'm talking about myself here. The issue that I have, and as I was planning on doing this video, Jason, on my drive back from work, which sucked today, by the way. If I'm in my work clothes on YouTube, just know I had a rough day. Okay. I was thinking just the holistic picture. And what I was reminded is, this is a true story. In 2003, I was 11 years old, and I remember my mom watched Lifetime and Hallmark and all that stuff, right? I remember sitting on the couch with my mom watching the news, and then names were scrolling up as the Battle of Nasiriyah was happening, on the way to Baghdad, right? And I'm 11, so I don't fully understand the world, but I understand what KIA means, right? Killed in action and wounded. And so that was in 2003 in Iraq. Fast forward to 2011, I'm now 18, and I find myself in Afghan fighting the same war, different country, different adversary. I got that, but the same global war on terror, that Iraq-Afghan generation. That went from me being 11 to me being an adult deploying back. Not to mention, I went 3 other times, okay? We don't even cover that. That's just that time gap. And then you look at the withdrawal of Afghan. I believe the youngest service member was 19. I'm going to say 20 to give myself a buffer there. But 20 years old in 2021, which means he was born in 2001. So now the reason I bring that up is because it shows this generational war that lasted 03 to 2021. People are still in Iraq right now. News isn't talking about it. They're still in Syria. They're still in Somalia. I have friends still there right now, okay? And that's just 03 to now. That doesn't even include Shield Storm, right? Doesn't include Afghan in 01. People were dying in Afghanistan in 2001, and it certainly doesn't include Vietnam era. And the reason I wanted to explain that generational picture is because who would have guessed you have a war that spans 20 plus years who, oh, by the way, it's not general officers aren't the ones going to patrol bases, right? We're talking 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, and the leadership's, 25 to 30. That's doing the heavy lifting, so to speak, over a 20-year time period. And so now in the 01, 03 generation, you had really, really heavy Gen Xers, okay? A little bit of your what I would call an old millennial, right on the cusp of Gen X and millennial, and that was 01, 03. In the 2010, 2011, like my generation, it was flip-flopped where you had majority millennials, a little bit of Gen Xers. And then the 2020, 2021 generation, you have Gen Zers that are now taking that throne, right? Taking the torch in a war that's unwinnable against an adversary who is nowhere and everywhere at the same time, right? And then you're surprised that we have millions of veterans coming back with serious mental health conditions, right? Not just PTSD, but anxiety, depression, insomnia. They're with burn pits, hypertension, and it's like, whoa, a 20+ year war causes disabilities. Who would have thought that, right? And so that's a really long way of me saying Congress made a decision to go to war, and there's a bill to pay. Okay, and so is the article suggesting to stop funding that bill? Okay, and real quick, I want to show some numbers, Jason, because the article does. So the department's budget has surged. The department, meaning the VA, has surged over the past 2 decades, rising from $86 billion, okay, in 2000, and that's 86 billion of today's dollars, to 336 billion, which I will admit that's a big increase, okay? But we're looking at it from 2000 to today in a 20+ year wars time frame. It's like, well, no crap. And then it makes this I'm going to pass it back to you here real quick, Jason. It says it now receives almost 3 times as much as the Department of Transportation, which the Department of Transportation is completely irrelevant to what's being said there. I don't even know how that's comparable.
That's why I hate these things. Yeah.
But those were, when I first read the article, that was my initial thoughts of being 11 years old, doing it myself, and then having today's 19-year-old kids also doing it. It's like, bro, there's a price to pay. Like, if we're doing this, there's a price to pay. That was my initial thoughts. I'm going to stop there because I can really go on forever.